Mr. Babin for 5
Ma'am,
minutes.
thank you. General Stafford, previous administrations have argued that we should not return to the moon because we've been there before. Would you feel more comfortable conducting a mission to the moon to test systems for an eventual Mars mission? Or would you prefer to skip directly to a Mars mission? And is it prudent to first test capabilities days away when you're on the moon before attempting a mission to Mars, which would be months or years away from Earth, in case problems arise?
Congressman Babin, as the saying goes, I may be a little dumb, but I'm not stupid. No, we went through this in great detail, and the moon is only 3 days away.
Yes, sir.
And if you have something, there's a way possibly to get back or other ones to help you, and you're in direct communications. And for example, we said the condition to the, we'd have a small space station that would be there for the period of time it would take to go to the moon, a chemical rocket at the right time in the year. And you can't go there every year because there's a 15-year period of energy,
Right.
sinusoid. And you can only launch every 26 months, but right now the lowest point and the best energy was in 2016. And so the next time is 15 years later,
Yes, sir.
2031. And the worst time is 2024.
Well said.
Anyway, we'd go for, say, 260 days or so in a small station around the moon. This is one place where the gateway might be feasible. There's a lot of things I think is not feasible about it. But, and then we'd land, and then to simulate 38% gravity versus 16%, we'd have just weights on the shoulders, just like football players train with weights, that would bring your weight from 16% to 38. So right will tell you how mobility, and this is just a simple thing. We
Yes,
would
sir.
do other things about that. So we think it's imperative. And also you have to learn how to recycle your oxygen and recycle the water. We're doing a lot of this on the space station, but we need to get the efficiency higher. So
Okay. Yes, sir. Thank you very much. And Mr. Young, your testimony states that management and contracting experiments must be excluded from the Mars Moon program. Can you expand on that a little? And is the next step broad agency announcement for human landing systems an experiment that would introduce unnecessary risk to the program? Turn your mic on.
Co-pilots and pilots are supposed to guide each other here. NASA has extraordinary capability that should be fully utilized in executing the program. That's kind of number one premise. And industry has extraordinary capability in implementation, which should be utilized. So I'm not a fan of an acquisition process that basically is training industry to do the job that NASA has historically done. I'm in favor of acquisition process that makes maximum use of both capabilities. As an example, a management experiment, in my view, would be to buy seats to fly to, for crews to fly to the surface of the moon. I personally think that these should be government-acquired assets under the leadership and direction of NASA, with industry having a full capability implementation. I think commercial cargo, if I went back to that, was an experiment that was worth doing, and in my view, if it didn't work out, it failed soft. Commercial crew, in my sample, is not the kind of concept that I would propose or support that we implement for the lunar program.
Yes, sir.
So I'm working off maximize probability of success, utilize all the capabilities you have to do that.
Thank you. Real quickly, General Stafford's testimony states, the leadership capability at NASA must be augmented at headquarters and at applicable centers. Mr. Young's testimony states the challenges of the Moon-Mars program are such that the leadership capabilities of NASA must be augmented. What exactly do you folks, you gentlemen mean by that? And would you elaborate on that and how the administration can improve its leadership and augmentation?
Right, Mr. Babin, I'll start when we pulled in Mr. Webb and the administration pulled in the best talent available, and that was General Sam Phillips. And he had managed the B-52. We built 740-some B-52s, and he's the one that put the 1,000 Minuteman in the ground. So he had tremendous experience. And I know of nobody that has the experience of General Sam Phillips today. And we were fortunate, too, down at Marshall Space Flight Center. We had Dr. von Braun, who his team had designed, developed, and produced 6,000 V-2 rockets in World War II, and then started the Redstone rocket here in the States, our first ballistic missile. I don't know of any talent like that available, so it's going to be tough to augment. We did have Bellcom, as Mr. Young mentioned, came from Bell Laboratories. It's Bell Laboratories that started the idea of systems engineering. And so they had, I think, up to 500 people, Tom, here at headquarters that would help them. So I'll turn it over to Mr. Young.
If I could add to what General Stafford has said. The first thing I want to make it clear is that this is not a criticism of the current NASA. It's a recognition that a Mars human program is probably the most challenging thing we have ever done as a civilization. I mean, we just can't underestimate what a challenge it is. I think achievable, a challenge. Even returning to the moon, it will be a challenge. So what that says is we've just absolutely got to have the best that the country has available. And what that says is that we need to augment the current NASA capability like we did on Apollo. And if we don't, then we're probably embarking upon something that we should not embark upon.
Thank you very much. I'm way over. Sorry.